Hello guys, welcome to another tutorial by Nocode Africa. And in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to build an Uber Eats application from start to finish, right? So we have a design here. That's the UI UX design from the Figma community, right? This was gotten from the Figma community. You can check the description under this video for the link to access it, right? So all credits, full credit goes to the person who worked on the UI UX design. I'm purely using this for educational purposes, okay? Okay, so now that we have access to these, what we're going to do straight up is we're going to just go ahead and recreate it. All right, so let's jump right into it. Before we create it, I would like to just take you through the application and just show you what's possible right on the UI. Right, so these are the designs that we have here, right? So we might change some things a little bit if necessary towards the end, right? Yeah, we could maybe change this to a verification link sent to email possibly, or we could also still try to implement it, right? Anyone that works. Okay, so we have that, and then we have the home screen. All right, so home screen delivery, right? This is it. So delivery, pickup, dine-in, and all of these features. So we will try to see how we can implement all of this, and we have the different categories here. And okay, this is for home screen, but dine-in, this is for categories, right? Category screen, right? So but we have pickup as well. Okay, this is for pickup part, right? So we will try to implement this to the letter, right? So we have the convenience, the story screen, change address screen, filter screen. We have a couple of things that we will need to like implement here. Then we also have restaurant details. We have a couple of things here to do. It's a lot of design, and then we have the cart screen, the order screen, the basket part, right? Recommendation screen, delivery details screen, order cancel screen. We have search category screen, search screen, reward screen, offer screen. We have grocery store screen, past order screen, item details screen, load screen, order details screen, lots of things here. Later on we will try to organize this a bit, and then track order screen, right? So we also have a track order screen here, and then track order screen, this is like the alternate design, and then delivered screen. All right, so these are all the screens that we have, and then the account settings as well. So we will try to implement all of this. First of all, we're going to do it as our front end first. We're going to handle all the UI design, like convert all these UI designs in FlutterFlow convert all the UI design inside Figma into FlutterFlow, and then after that we will start the back end as well. So this tutorial is going to be broken down into different parts, and you will always see it as part 1, part 2, part 3, like that till the end. Okay, so let's jump right into it and let's get these rolling. Okay, so just the way we always do it, we're going to be building with FlutterFlow, and if you don't have an account, check this description under this video for a link to click and get a new account for free. Or if you already have an account, just click on sign in, and then we will go straight into it. I already did. I clicked on that, and then it to just quickly bring me to my FlutterFlow dashboard. It's already opened here, so I can just jump right into it. So I'll go ahead and click on create new, and then I'll call my application Uber Eats. Yeah, Uber Eats, and I will go ahead and click on create blank, and wait for a couple of seconds, and this comes up. I can go ahead and click on next step if I want to set up and connect it to Firebase, but I don't want to start by connecting my application to Firebase, so I will just skip this process yet. When it's time, we will connect it. So this is it. We have our project, FlutterFlow project dashboard, and we can begin building. All right. Okay, without wasting so much of time, how do we start? Let me go ahead and close all of this, and we just have this now. So let's start. First of all, let's click on these to check out the dimension of the screen. So it's 375 by 812, the base screen. So we will have to go ahead and confirm that we're using the same thing. So just click on here and select this particular one, iPhone 13 mini. Beautiful. Click on the app bar and delete it. Just click on delete on your keyboard and that's gone. Now we need to go ahead and then start replicating all of this. You don't need to put all of these particular part in your design. No, it's not necessary. Like, I mean, this part that has to do with time, you don't need to put all of that. So we just need the base designs here. So leave these ones alone. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and then, this is just pure text. Let me see. Let's click on, I want to see the font type that is being used here. It's not being stated here. I can see the properties of the font completely. Okay, it says here it's a vector image. Okay, so this vector, it's not a text per se, right? It's not really a text. So this is a text. Okay, so this is just more like a vector image. Okay, great, no problems. So what we would do is just click on this and get the, this is more like a black, or not really black, but let's just click on this to copy the color and go back to FlutterFlow and then, you know, identify our widget tree. This one is called the splash screen. So let's go ahead and click on the home page, click on the scaffold here and call it splash screen. Okay, or just say splash. Okay, then we can just go ahead and check this box here. Now this is our scaffold. We just need to go ahead and then wrap, this is the main column, so we will just right click on it and wrap the widget with a container, right? The container, we're going to go ahead and give it an infinite width by clicking this, and an infinite height by clicking this, and then we'll go ahead and then paste the color code for the project, right? So now we have it. It's like green, it's like black. I'm not so very good with colors, right? So I think it's more like a very deep green. Yeah, I think it's a very deep green. It's not black. Okay, you guys might be way better with colors than myself, which is a good thing. So let's go ahead and click on this now and go to export and click on these and make it 3x, and then just maybe preview it to just be sure that it's there. Export vector. So now we have this. Hover on the image to see the dimension. You see it says 117 by 41 pixels. So we will go ahead and come to our design, go to the column itself, click on add a chart to widget, and then go ahead and add these as a row. Well, I like to do it like that. And then now we're going to add an image inside that row. So this is the image. It's a 117 by 41, right? So 117 by 41. And then remove the border radius, just delete it. Click on network, change it to asset so that you can actually upload an image from your system. So I will go ahead and go to where my files are, and this is it. I'll click on this and click on open, and there you go. All right, so now we have this particular information. We can just go ahead and then do some setups here, right? So let's see here, if you click on this particular point, you can go ahead and then center align it, right? And then we can go ahead and then click here to duplicate it, right? So just click on this and say Ctrl D to duplicate the item, right? So just duplicate the item here. And then what we need to do is quickly we go back here and click on these particular logo. I think it's spreading across all like this. I don't know why that's like that. Okay, so it's not giving me the vibe that I need. Let's turn it off. Let's turn off the developer mode. And I think it's not working like that. Even if I do it like this, it's just gonna distort the shape. So this is the vector. Okay, this is a real vector. The whole of this was like holding everything. So this is a real vector, and this is what we want to export. So we can use this. Just click on export, click on 3x, export vector. Great. So now we will go ahead and click on this, click on upload image. We want to change it. So this is the logo now. So we just click on that. And then we have the eats. Nice. So let's see, it might have some space, right, in between it. That's 7.59, but I'll just make it 8. So I'll click on the row that has the image of the logo and give it 8, okay? So that's it. Now I need this thing to be at the center of this column. So what I will do quickly is I'll click on here. So center align it, right? So that's it. We have our design, just the same thing like this. We don't need to bother ourselves with this particular stuff. Okay, so now that we're done with that, let's go ahead and work on the next screen. Now, bear in mind, we're just focusing on the UI for now, right? In the subsequent part of the tutorial, we will start the backend. Good, really good. All right, so now we will go ahead and then add another page. So we will click here to add another page, then click on create blank to add another page to it. So this is it. This is the landing screen. So we will call this landing screen. Maybe landing. Yeah, just call it landing screen. Landing screen. And we will say create page. Okay, so we will click on this and delete the app bar. And then now we need to just go ahead and set this up. So click on this particular image, find the dimension which says 375 by 524, right? So we will come here to the column and then click on this and put an image inside there. Make the image infinite width, that's okay. And then say 374 as the height. Okay, so if you come back here, it was 524 actually. So the height here is 524, right? Did I get that right? Why is it skipping? Okay, 524, good. I'll click on export, change this to 3x just to get the highest resolution of this image. Not the highest, one of the highest. So I'll click on this to export the image itself. And I can come back to here, go ahead and remove this border radius. We don't want our image to have a border radius. Change from network to asset, click on here to upload the image, right? So we will click here to upload the image, and then now we have the image inside FlutterFlow. Okay, now we have this particular information. What do we do next? Good question. We will just go ahead and then work on this text. So I will double click on it. It says I don't have the font, right, in my system. So this is gonna be a bit problematic for me. So there's a font called Ubamove, right? I don't have it installed in my system, so I will just use something else, right? I will use SourceSense Pro, right? I will just use that. Okay, so but now how do I copy the text when I want to use it? So I will go ahead and then go back to developer mode, click on it, and then I will see the text here. So I can just click here to copy it. All right, so the text is the 500 by 24. So I will go ahead and click here, the column, click on add a child to that column and click to add a row. In the row, I will add a text. Inside the text, where I'm supposed to like put my text, which is here, I'll just paste what I had copied. Good. And then it was 500 by 24. Good. And it's just a regular black color. So let's go ahead and say, click on here and say 500 by 24. All right, we're doing a great job. Let's go. And then this now has our text, you know, going from left to right, and we don't get to see some things that are here. How do we go ahead and make sure that this thing falls down like this? So first of all, we have a padding of 15 on the left. Let's go ahead and give our text a padding of 15 on the left here. So I just put 15 here. It pushes it a bit here. Now, how do we make the remaining stuff to flow down? We have to go ahead and just change on the padding and alignment here, the expansion side of it. So just click on here, it makes it flow down. Beautiful. Now we need to go ahead and give it some space like what we have there. It says 11 pixel from the top. So we will give it to the row, not the text widget. So I click on the row and I say 11 pixel. Beautiful. And then the next thing I'll do is I'll go ahead and create this part. This is just a container that has a color. This is the color of the container. So here we have 345 by 51 pixels. So I'll click on the column itself and then click on add a child to the widget and add container, right? Nice. Now there's something I'm going to do here which I need you to pay attention to. So I'm not going to give this container a fixed width, right? I will just give it a fixed height of 51, right? So I will say here the height is 51, but the width will be infinite, but I will give it a padding on the left 15. right? And I will give it under the right 15, right? So that's it. Then I will paste the fill color, right? I paste the fill color here, and now we have that. Now the reason why I did this is because of the fact that when your screen size changes to something bigger, we will still have it expanding. But had it been I'd fixed the width, we would have a lot of large space in between here. The same thing I did for the image. I gave the image an infinite width. That's why it's spreading across even if the screen sizes change. Good? All right, so let's go back to what we were doing before. Now inside this container, I will go ahead and then put the different elements that I found inside it. First of all, we have an image here, then we have a drop down here, then we have a text field here. Good? So let's go ahead and then click on here and add a row inside this container because things are moving from left to right. So we are going to have to put it inside a container. Why we did put this inside a column is because things are being wrapped from top to bottom. So it has to be in a column. Okay, great. So inside this container now, I will click on row to add a row inside it. I'm going to add an image now. And then I will go ahead and check the size of the image. The image here is 44 by 29 pixels. So I will go ahead and come here and say 44, okay, by 29 pixel. Good stuff. And then what I will go ahead and do is I'll just delete the border here, border radius. Click on network to assets, but before then let's go back to Figma and click on the image itself and scroll down, click on export, and then make this 3x and then export it. Right, so we've exported it. Well, this one exported as a zip file, not to worry, we will get it right. So what we will need to do now is just go ahead and click on this to open the folder, like open it where we have the file. So this is it. I like to just cut this out of here and put it somewhere I call maybe I can put it here. Okay, maybe I just paste it here and say Control V, then I'll right click on this and say extract files here. Okay, so now we have this in this particular thing. So I'll just go ahead and maybe copy the link to this particular folder, and then I'll come back here, come to my FlutterFlow, click on the icon to upload the image, paste the link that I copied. Don't try to make this confuse you at all. I'm just doing something so that I can do it faster. You can always go find where you have the image in your system. So here, the padding on the left for this image is 24 pixel. So I have to go ahead and do the same thing here. So I'm putting 24 pixels as the padding. And then in the row, I click on the row now, and I'm going to add something, another widget called drop down. Okay, so this is a widget now called drop down, and this drop down, I will go ahead and then do some things. So this is the text. It says plus 44, basically numbers, country codes and all of that. So I can just put it here, maybe plus 44. Then I put it here as an initial selection. So it says here, I can just say plus 44 as well. And then let's look at the dimension. So that says 400 by 16. So I will go ahead and come here and say change this to 16, 400 by 16. Okay, so let's say 400 by 16, and it's so big here, like the width is so big, and it's even white background. We don't want it like that, so we need to change the width here. Just try to change this to maybe 50, right? Might work. Didn't work. Let's say 80. Okay, so I think I did click something faulty there, and then the entire FlutterFlow kind of snapped at me. So let's see. This looks like the width here is 29. Well, this one looks like it's 25. So 29, 25, 54. Okay, yeah, well, maybe that's why it didn't work. Okay, so let's go ahead and then just wait for FlutterFlow to pop. Right, so it's trying to load up here a bit. Okay, so I think it's ready to give us back our project. Nice and easy. Okay, so good. Now let's use, I was trying to use 60, so I'm going back to the landing screen, and then here, first of all, let's go ahead and clear this fill color. So I just take up the fill color, I clear it, good. Then maybe border color, take it off as well. Then the width, be careful actually, just put maybe 70. Okay, good. It still didn't work. Let's say 80 then. 80 didn't still work. I'm trying to just get the smallest value. Okay, so 44 worked. All right, I like 44 then. So 44 worked, and the next thing we need to do quickly is we need to have this text field, all right, for this one. So I will go ahead and then maybe just copy the color code, and then I will come over here, click on the row, click on this, and then add a text field. Okay, so let's see text field. All right, so I'll just click on this, add the text field here. So nice. So this is our text field, and then I can paste the label text, yeah, something like this. But I would prefer not to put it as a label text. I would prefer to put it as a hint text, right? Something like this. So, oh, not that. Okay, this was colors that I picked. So let's just paste it here, text color. And let's go ahead and copy what we have here as the content. This is going to now be our hint text. Okay, so like these, we're good, for real, we're good. So we've had something reasonable now. So I'll click on this, click on the container, just tap to close it. Then here, let me click on this container now to see the height, the padding. So here says 19 from the top. So I will give it 19 here. Okay, good. All right, so we have 19 there. And we're doing great. Sincerely, we're doing great. All right, so we're done with the landing screen. Let's just go ahead and then work on this. So the thing is this, going forward, we might just have to copy some things here and there and use. But I think this is slightly different. So I think we'll just continue building from where we have this. So I would just go ahead and then come back here, click here to add a new page, and click on create blank. This page is called phone input screen. Okay, so let's just copy. Let's just say phone input screen. All right, so phone input screen. Quite a long name for a page, but let's just use it. We can always change it later. Click on this to delete the app bar, and then go ahead and then copy this text. Okay, good stuff. Click on the column, click on add a child to that column, click on row, which is now that child, add something else inside the row, which is the text, and go to where you're supposed to paste the content for the text, paste it here, and that's it. So we can now go ahead and then say 500 by 20 pixels. There you go. So we will say the dimension here is 500 by 20 pixels. So we're doing a great job, guys, really good job. So I'll click on this and then say center align, like I just click on this for the main axis alignment. And then I will go ahead and say it's 58 from the top, so I will give it 58 from the top, right? So that's it. And then I will go ahead and set this all up. So we already have something like that here, but let's just recreate it, right? So let's recreate it. So here, this is a container. This container is roughly 98 by 50 pixels. So I will just call it 99. All right. I just want to use the maximum space possible, right? Why did I stammer there? So let's say 99, and we will go ahead and say 50 pixels. So great. So let's say 50 pixels. So 50 pixels. And let's copy the color code. All right, then we will just go ahead and paste it here. Nice and easy. All right, so I will wrap these in a row actually. So I need to wrap this container in a row, which is a good thing. I will click on this to, I can just give it a padding of 16, right? Here, it just saves me some trouble. Yeah, padding of 16. I can do it like that, or I can always center align it, right? Yeah, I can always center align it. So, yeah, but I think just giving it a padding on that side is good. Then we can go ahead and then for this particular thing, we need the image. So I think it's almost the same size. So this is 44, let's say 45 by 28 pixels. So let's add a row there first. And Okay, so here, all right, so here what we're gonna be doing is we needed to show some form of image, right? So we needed to show some form. We can just add an image here. This is supposed to be a drop down, right? So let's see, drop down. Okay, let's say drop down first. So drop down. Now this drop down is supposed to be, let's yeah, okay, let's leave it like that, drop down. And then here, let's delete what we have here as this. Okay, and then we need to go ahead and let's see. So here we have a drop down. We're supposed to have, these are the options that we have, right? So these are the options. So let's see. Okay, we have different options here. We don't have the options for an image, like a drop down per se for image, right? So we don't have, like, this is supposed to be a drop down showing like a list of images, right? So a list of images. So what we could do here is okay, I think we will have to fix this when we're trying to work on the backend, right? So yeah, we will try to fix this while working on the backend, because these images are supposed to come from the backend itself. So when the user clicks on it, it's just gonna come from some sort of list of flags that we had already put in the backend. All right, so we can do it like that, and it will just pretty much make sense. Okay, I will handle that when we're doing the backend. So here I will just go ahead and then put these, right? And then I will go ahead and then get our image there. All right, so when we're doing the backend, we might just alter that a little bit. So let me right click and wrap this in a row, and then click on this row and add an image. The image is going to be 44 by 28, maybe 45, 44 by 28. Okay, so we have the image here. Then let's check this out. So this is my row, but my image is all over here. This is my main container itself. Okay, so what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna cut this out, click on this and just delete this first, and then I'll click on this and paste my image. Okay, so I have my image here, and then I will go ahead and then just download this. Let's download this first. Okay, so click on export and then change this to 3x. Just exports the file. It's another zip file. Okay, but let's see. I think I could still use what we had used before. So let's go ahead and say asset, and then click on this, go to where we have this, and then just use it. So it might not be the perfect size. Okay, so we have these like this, right? So it's filling everywhere because we're supposed to wrap these in a row. Okay, so I wrap it in a row so it takes its perfect size, and then 14 pixels on the from the left, so 14 like this, and then we can go ahead and add the drop down. So drop down, we will work on this from the backend, like backend scenario when we're done. So let's take off all of this, right? And then let's reduce this width to maybe 30. Okay, so like this now I can see the, let me go ahead and clear these few colors. So clear it off and clear this off. All right, so I have these a bit, this is my container, right? So let me push it around a bit. Okay, I'm gonna adjust that back again. I want to see where we are at in the details of, let's just put something there, maybe 9. Okay, that didn't work out. Let's come over here and say width is 40. Okay, so now we see something. So 35. Oh, I have closed it again. All right, so That was pretty fast. Let me see which one opens faster. So okay, so this opened faster. All right, so let's go to this. Let's click on this, and okay, so here, let me just go ahead and scroll down and make these. I wanted to actually make it 35. Okay, so 35, and then now this is it. It's okay. So I can go ahead and click on the container back. What was this dimension of our container? It was 99. Let's see whether that's going to work out. So let's say 99. Okay, so it's fine. Let's click back on the row and click on this and get a container, right? So there's a container here, and this container is just going to give us we're going to use an infinite width, so with a space padding on the left 17 and space in between here, which is 13. All right, so let's go over here and say infinite width. It crashed. Okay, because we didn't actually check a particular box. Nice. Okay, so we have phone input screen here. So we wanted to make it like an expansion, like infinite expansion, but it is already inside some form of limited space here. So we need to go ahead and tell it, okay, we need it to expand first before we click on this. That was why it crashed. Okay, so now it's fine. So let's go ahead and look at the height is 50. So we will say 50. Okay, that's good. And then we will go ahead and give it padding on here and say 17. And then from the left is 13. Okay, good. So we can now go ahead and then copy the color here and paste it for as a fill color and just enter, and that's it. So now we have this. We need to just go ahead and click on add a row inside that container, and then okay, so from what I'm seeing here, when you tap on this to change this flag, this number is supposed to also change, and then you have the number here. Okay, so this is going to be a text, and then this one too. So we will have to do some really nice logic kind of thing here. So let's see. Let's go ahead and put a text here. So so we say 44, and let's just put it here. So this 44 is gonna be more like from what I saw before, it's going to be 16. Okay, great. And then it has some padding on the left, 20. So let's say 20 here. All right, and then we have here, we have to click on the row, click to add a text field. So I'm saying text field, go here. All right, so then let's just copy this information. It's 400 by 16. Come down here, remove it from label text. I don't always like it like that, and put it instead in a hint text. All right, so and I think that's pretty much okay. So let's click on the row and give it some padding. From the top it's 18, so I'll just say 18 from the top, and that's about it. I'll go ahead and then click on next, not click on next, basically just to have these containers. So let's say this container is I'm not seeing the exact dimension, so it says 344 by 55. I just need the height. Okay, so the color is black. Okay, so let's say 45. So let's click on this. That's the column itself, and add a container. The container, the height is going to be 45. Okay, the width is going to be infinite. We won't have any crashing errors there. Then we will say it's 16 on the left. Okay, so let's say 16 here, and 16 here. Okay, so and then inside here this is black, so I will just go ahead and I did copy the color coded, just pure black. And then inside here we're gonna say row. The row is gonna have the text here as next. So this is 700 by 16, so I'll click here to add a text, and the text is going to be Next, right, then we will come here and change it to 700 by 16. Really nice. Then we can just give it a color white. And also let's go ahead and click on the row. I want to add I might not be able to see this exact arrow, but let's see. Let's click on here to search for icon. Okay, so icon, I'm clicking here to say right. I'm looking for an icon that says right. So I might not be able to see that exact icon. You see, I can't see exact thing. So the only thing we could do is either download the image. Okay, so we have something here. I think this works. So these is roughly 21 by 18. So here it says 24. So maybe we just say 21. Okay, so 21. Click here to change the color of the text. There you go. Then click on the row, and for alignment, so click on these to push it to the left, right? And then click on the first icon. We want to know the padding on the right. So it's like 16. So we're gonna give it padding on the right at 16. Then we need to know the padding separating them. So this is like 1 to 8, right? So I will click on this and give it a padding of 1 to 8 from the right, 1 to 8. So something like that. So I'll click on the main row, then the container just to find them. And then I will look at the spacing from the top. So 28. So I'll go ahead and say 28. Make sense? Beautiful. Okay, so we've gone this far. The next thing we need to do is copy this particular text. It's 500 by 12. So I'll click on this, and I'll go ahead and click on add a child to widget, add a text. Okay, actually I was supposed to add these in a row. So I'm right clicking on it to wrap it inside a row. And there you go. So this is the text. I'm going to paste this here now. Good. I've pasted these, and what we need to do quickly is look at, I'll copy the color code now and say, check the font size. It's 500 by 12. So I will go ahead and then come over here, click 500 and change this to 12. Good stuff. Then I will paste the color code. There you go. And I will go ahead and click on, before I click, let's see, the padding on the left is 16. So I'll give it 16 here, all right? And then I will go ahead and click on this expansion to break things down. Beautiful. So I will go ahead and then just give the padding of 16 here on the right. Okay, just to make everything even. And then there's a space of 12 from the top here. So I'll click on the row and give it a padding of 12. Okay, good stuff. Then it has some line heights here. So let's see. The line height here says 160. We won't consider the pixel part, so 166 point that. Okay, so let's just say 1.66. So 1.66. That's okay. So it just separated a bit for us instead of clustering the whole thing. So let's go ahead and then finish up the whole thing. So here we have a line, a text, and a line. So let me just copy the text as once. No, let me copy the color of the line. How do you create that? So click on the column, click on add a child column. First of all, we need to add a row. Inside the row, we're gonna add a container. You guessed it right. So I'll go ahead and say, let's click on these first to say that expansion is to be flexible, and we will say infinite width. Beautiful. I will tell you why we did that. Then we will change the height to 1. Great. And then we will give it some space from the left, 16. All right. So we will say 16. I will paste the color here. Great. And then I will go ahead and then duplicate this. I did Ctrl D and it's duplicated. Okay, so now we have it like that. We have some space here. Okay, no, not that. I just Ctrl Z to undo what I just did. So I need to add a text first before I duplicate the other one. So I add a text. The text is going to say or. Okay, and then this long container here has some space away from the text. It's about 5.4. I'll just leave it 6. So the padding on the right is 6. Okay, nice. And then let's go ahead and copy this container. No, the container itself. So I'm clicking the container, Ctrl C to copy, click on the row. Let's click on the row and paste it. All right, so that's it. Now I can go ahead and click on this container and say on the left is going to be 6 and on the right is going to be 16. All right, just to make everything even. So that's more like it. So let's go ahead and then come to this text. This text is 400 by 14, which is correct. So let's give it a color here. So I just paste this color and then that's it. So I'll now click on the row itself and give it some padding of 18 from the top. So I'll say 18. Okay, so we have 18 and that's it. So now for this one, it's just gonna be a container. So the height is 55. So click on this to add a row inside the row. Okay, no, let's add a container first. So click on the column itself. Let's add a container. The container is going to have an infinite width. The padding on the left, we will say 16. The right, we will say 16 as well. The height is going to be 55. Great. And then we need to download this particular Google icon. So click on export, change this to 3x and export it. Great. And then here, let's just copy this. Now, first of all, this has a border, right? It has a border color, right? So before we do that, let's just come over here first, and inside this container, we're going to put a row inside it. Inside the row, we will add an image. Great. Then the image, it's looks like a circle image. So don't worry, we can use just image. Then let's look at the size of the image. So it's a 25 by 25 pixel. So we will come over here and say 25 by 25 pixel and delete the border radius. Come over here, change to network, from network to assets, click on here, and then go to your downloads where you have the file, click on it to upload, wait for a couple of seconds and it's there. Look at the spacing on the left, it's 14. I'm using approximate figures, so 14. Then click on the row and add a text. All right, so we added text. The text is what I had already copied before, so I just pasted. Continue with Google. And here I would just say the padding from the left is 60. All right, so I'll just say 60. So padding from the left is 60. And I think that's pretty much it. So here it's a black color, 700 by 16. So I can just paste it here just to be certain, and just click here and say 700 by 16. There you go. We have our design. Now we have to click on the container itself, and we're gonna give it a border color, right? So I think I already copied a black color, so let's just paste this here. So now it gives me that kind of black border there. So we have that here as well. So I'll click on it and see the spacing from the top. It's 18. So I'll give it here as well, 18. All right, so now we have this. And what we need to just quickly do is, I think that's more like what we need. So the border width here wasn't specified. So we can say 1. It's still too thick. So let's say 0.5. So it's a bit not so thick. So like this is good. Okay, so we have a couple of screens that we have done so far. The splash screen, landing screen, phone input screen, and then we can actually keep doing more. So we will just go ahead and work on this, and then we will just break this tutorial into different parts, and then at the end of it all, we will have like a very complete tutorial series. Okay, so I think at this point, let's not just make the video way too long, this is where we'll stop for this particular part. We will continue this part in the next tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this. Just go ahead and click on the subscribe button and like this video as well. And let's see you in the next tutorial. Okay.